you doing, Jersey? Welcome to Ledger Live. Well, the race for governor of New Jersey is really heating up. Let's just say that you are a real tree-hugging environmentalist. You've got a real conundrum on your hands with this election. Let's look at the candidates. First, you have the Republican challenger, Chris Christie. A lot of environmentalists weren't crazy about him to begin with, and that was before he promised to cut the State Department of Environmental Protection by 1/3. I'd be using a chainsaw, but they say they're really bad for the environment. Then you have, of course, the incumbent, Governor Jon Corzine, a Democrat. Now, environmentalists were crazy about him. They thought he had a great record as a U.S. Senator 4 years ago. But recently, the Sierra Club of New Jersey issued a report calling Corzine's, quote, the worst environmental administration in state history. Wow. That leaves a third candidate, Independent Chris Daggett. Now, environmentalists really seem to like this guy. He's worked for the DEP, the EPA. They love his stance on issues. And he recently got the endorsement of the New Jersey Sierra Club. The only problem is, as an independent, he doesn't have a heck of a lot of money, and his poll numbers are so low that it doesn't look like he has much of a chance to really rise to the top. Last week, environmentalists thought they'd at least get a little bit of light shine on the issues and a sense of where the candidates stand on environmental issues. There was a forum held by the group Environment New Jersey. They invited all three candidates, but only one of them, Daggett, showed up. Corzine sent a representative, Assemblyman John McKeon, and Chris Christie, he also sent a surrogate, a guy named Rick Dovey from the Atlantic County Utilities Authority. Well, everybody there said Dovey knew a heck of a lot about environmental issues. He seemed to know a little bit less about Chris Christie himself. He admitted he only talked to Christie for about 10 minutes.
Chris Christie, in those brief few minutes that I talked to him, understood the importance of improving the grid.
Maybe Christie's campaign figures we're not going to get the environmentalist vote anyway. So that left Daggett, who stood there and answered all the questions, like this one, about where he stood on the proposal to put liquid natural gas transfer facilities on islands off the New Jersey coast.
And so point blank, where are you on liquid natural gas facilities in the middle of our beautiful ocean?
Everything I've seen so far would tell me I couldn't support that. And it isn't just one island, as you know. There's some that don't use the island. There's other proposals here. That cost. Then we have the issue of national security. Do we really want to be in the business of building a greater reliance on foreign sources of energy by building that kind of facility? And finally, if you talk to people that I've talked to, there are more people that believe this is really an effort to build a facility to export it.
Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. You know, the whole thing really was a microcosm of where environmental issues have stood in this campaign. When it was all over, the people at the forum said they were really disappointed that the three candidates haven't paid more attention to environmental issues, and that the three people who debated didn't have a better grasp of the issues.
The representative from the Christie campaign was really interesting, and he obviously was knowledgeable and very green, but he just admitted that he'd only talked to Christie for 10 minutes and that he had nothing to do with the campaign. So I regretted that I didn't have the chance to ask him, if you're the best that the Christie campaign can send this, does that mean there are no environmental advisors in the Christie campaign?
Good answer. I mean, I kind of already know where Governor Corzine is on it. That's why we're upset, because he hasn't closed the door to it. These other folks, I mean, Chris Daggett seemed very circumspect, but it sounds like he's leaning pretty hard against, and the other guy, he had no position on anything, but, you know, whatever. Whatever. It is what it is.
It was very nice to see candidate Daggett out. I just wish that the other two candidates had come to show their dedication to a clean energy future for New Jersey.
Really, through all the citizen comments and all the people who turned out, showed that this has to be a major issue in this race. But I think it's also clear that the candidates have to go back to the drawing board, have to develop really strong positions on all of these issues, whether it's renewables or fossil fuels, and tell the people of New Jersey what they'll do as the next governor when it comes to New Jersey's energy future.
So all in all, environmentalists are feeling like they're pretty much lost in the wilderness during this campaign. At least I got some decent firewood out of the deal. If you want to know more about these issues and where the candidates stand on environmental issues, we're putting a host of links on the Ledger Live blog at NJ.com/LedgerLive. Until then, take it easy, Jersey.